Angie and Friends. You will notice a familiar face tonight. Of course, we've got Brad in the house, but we've brought back Tony from season three, one of the OGs from season three. She's here tonight to help us break down the duels for season four, episode three. And we'd like to apologize for MIA last week. We've had some issues in vacay and scheduling conflicts, but we are back on track every week, bringing you the latest breakdown of every duel of every episode this season. So it's good to see everybody. Thanks for joining in. Hi, Brad. Hi, Tony. How's life?
Hi, I'm doing good.
Hey,
I'm happy to be here. I'm loving season
Angie.
4 so far.
Angie, we need to go ahead and just tell the listeners, our loyal listeners, we have a change in the horizon here that we're
Oh,
excited
yeah.
about.
Go. Do you want to
And
go ahead?
yeah, I'm gonna I'll let you announce it, Angie. I'm
Okay.
gonna give you the glory.
Well, you're gonna give me the floor on the floor of
Give
the
me the floor.
podcast. I love it. All right. So here's the deal. We have been doing this faithfully every week. And it's taken some different iterations, different flavors, different guests, different approaches. But one thing has stayed the same, and that is that we are passionate about the duels, we're passionate about the gameplay, and we're passionate about the show, its growth, and offering suggestions to make it as great as possible. And we feel the same way about our own podcast. So, to that end, we have invited Tony from season three to be a regular on our pod. So, you will see the three of us and the occasional random surprise guest every week as we break down season four and beyond. So, Tony, thanks for accepting our offer to join
Yeah,
this
I'm
motley
so
crew.
excited. I mean, I've been a fan of this podcast since before I was on the show, so I'm just to be a regular, that makes me really happy.
Yeah, we're super excited. Brad and I both, we talked about it and we invited you. You said yes. So now we're like a thruple, I guess, on the floor.
Oh my gosh!
Uh,
Don't tell my wife that.
Oh, and no, oh wait, we're adding another. We gotta add some spice to the tea. Hey, David, how are you doing, man?
Hi. I made it
Hi,
in.
hi. It's
Hi.
Good to see you, David.
It's really good to see you. Yeah, we just
Yes, good to see
went
you all.
live, and we're really happy that you could come and join us because we didn't get a chance to learn a lot about your experience, and we know that I'm sure people are shouting "new dude party" at you on the street daily, so we want to hear more about that. But tonight we're joined by Tony. Tony, meet David. David, meet Tony. Tony from season three, and David from season four. Brad and I are going to return to the original format of what we love about this pod tonight, and we're going to break down this week's episode, each of the 9 duels. Some will move through more quickly than others as we, chat it up and discuss them in turn. But before we get started breaking down Duel 1, anybody have anything to share, shout out? What you got, Brad?
I do. One, David, nice to see you. Tony is a fan of mine. I have very few fans in my life, my wife and Tony. So I'm excited about that. 2, Angie, you'll see, since you're the host, there's a side item that says media on your screen. I want you to hit that because I got something I want to play for
Oh, I
the
got it.
listeners right now.
I got it.
Okay, you click on media.
I
Look
got it.
on there. You should see a floor drop. Do you see the floor drop
do.
on the
You
media?
want me to hit it?
Okay, click live. Make
Okay.
sure it's played live. Is it live?
We're going to find out here.
Okay, I want you to play.
I'm so disappointed when I see other players get the chance to play and go and just do something big and they're not brave enough to take it.
Thanks.
I have
This
thoughts.
is my
Was that-
favorite. She is me, Tony.
Was that
this
Aaron?
lady.
was
Yes.
that Aaron?
Aaron.
Yeah, no, literally.
Aaron is
literally,
Brad.
Literally. I was like, oh my gosh. It was very refreshing to see somebody like at least, have that sort of game plan. For sure. I will say, like, as far as like statistically speaking, the best way to go about it is to just play the coward game. But like entertaining speaking and like coolness factor, you want to keep on playing. And so when I saw Aaron say that, I'm like, oh my gosh, Aaron, please take it home. But then I got nervous. I was like, girl, if she I was, we'll go into the duels because I got some things to say.
Tony, is that not what you listen to a lot of our episodes?
Yeah, yeah.
Do I not say that all the time?
You do.
Just play it, man. Stop being a weenie. And when I saw Aaron, I texted Angie this morning. I'm like, we got to get Aaron on the show. David, do you know Aaron at all? Is there any way we could get her on here?
Oh, from my season.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It there. So because I was out on like episode 2, day 1, and you're meeting 100 strangers, I couldn't connect with all 100 strangers, right? So
That
I
surprises
didn't make
me,
any
David.
connections with her.
You are
Ugh.
very personable. It surprises me that you
How
don't-
not? You're so
look,
nice, David. I
Their
don't
loss,
understand that.
right? Their
100%.
loss.
Well, I'm going to say that I am incredible. I'm an amazing cyber sleuth. I believe that I was, deep undercover NI agent back in the day because I know some things, and I did some deep diving on Miss Erin Walker. I believe is her birth name.
Oh my gosh, Angie, you're a stalker.
Well, I found her
Shit.
dad. Okay, people are going to creep out, but don't.
I was
Okay?
just trying to find her Instagram, and that was difficult
She's
for
a
me.
social media ghost. Her dad is on Facebook talking about her on the show. There is nothing on Facebook, nothing on Instagram.
Wow.
Somebody mentioned on Reddit that they watched because Erin was their professor, and I noticed it said data scientist under her profession. So I Googled her name, data science professor, etc. Found her, I think, at Arizona State University, but no footprint, no email. And I'm
Wow.
telling you, as a Hawkeye, I have a Hawkeye tattoo. I bleed black and gold. When she said she was wearing Hawkeye yellow, I squealed and kind of peed my pants. I want to meet her. We need to fangirl over this.
I
So
was
anybody
looking
knows
as-
Erin, hook us up, please.
She is
Connect us.
Brad in a yellow jumper.
Yes, and a ponytail.
She's me.
As
She's
soon
me.
as she said that, I was like, I don't even care how this ends up. I want to follow her. Like, I want to talk to her. You know what I mean?
Yes,
'Cause it's just-
we got to have
it's-
her on. Somebody out there
Yeah.
in the world, connect us, please. So yeah, we put.
Please
that in.
do. Do you
the
think
world.
friend of the show Harley, who likes everything we post, do you think she knows Erin?
She might. I'll put a notice
Harley?
out to her. There's a lot of
sounds
folks on
familiar.
season 4 that I've connected with. Some of the podcast guys are going to come on our podcast. Maybe they will connect with her. Maybe we get her on later and she has, her tea to spill and thoughts about how the season's progressed. Much like, David, he was out early and we wish he weren't because, he's one of
Yes.
our early faves.
I wish he wouldn't.
Right, but he's going to have opinions, seeing how things played out, and that's why I'm glad he showed up tonight to share some of those thoughts. But yeah, I'd love to get Erin on. I think that would be fantastic. And I will say it was a bit of a teaser because it looked like Erin was going to be the person who got that first category swap option, and she wasn't.
I
And
was
like,
so
"Ooh."
no, I felt it in my bones. I was like, oh my gosh, if she loses this one, I'm gonna be so mad because and she was also a really good player. Like she wasn't just like I'm gonna be aggressive, but I don't know anything about this category. It's like she was on it.
Yeah,
you
she
know.
won that too, right? She won her own category.
Yeah.
And then she won the category against Sam, and then she
The book.
won
books.
the banned books, which was like a nail biter, and we're going to get down to that in a minute. But yeah, I was surprised. She got the editor's cut. She had a lot of FaceTime, a lot of sidebar conversation, a lot of interview clips. I thought for sure they were poising us to see her move into next week, but she didn't. What do you think? Should we start with Duel 1? Anybody want to add something else before we get going?
Let's do it.
All right. Now, this is going to be a little weird because I never say anything very critical about the show, but I'm going to start off on that note, Brad. I know I'm flipping the script on you because
Wait, you're gonna be critical, Angie?
I'm going to be critical. I'm going to be critical.
Help me.
I never
This
am.
is
I'm,
David. This is
I'm the happiest human on planet Earth. But I will tell you the one thing that super bugs me. Okay, it was Christina being married to Meg and having a spousal team again. Now, I know they had a married couple on season 3. I know my own season had twins, Trevor and Trenton, love them to death. But I don't like it. I don't. Unless you're
I
going to
think
do
every
some kind of
season-
team floor, like I discussed last week, which I think would be an awesome new ad in a few seasons from now to make it a team game somehow. I just think there's room for collusion and advantage. If nothing else, you've got a friend. You've got a spouse in this instance, somebody who's got your back. The rest of us showed up as complete strangers in a strange land, and I think it's an advantage that isn't exactly fair. So I'm going to throw that out and leave it for you guys to tell me what you think.
It's not fair that they get $80 a day per diem instead of 40. That's what's not fair, Angie.
I didn't even mention that. That's great. What do
To
you guys
see
think?
her come over and give her a hug, I'm like, man,
And-
when it came to that guy, I'm like, you got to duel this and get rid of this girl. You got to
Oh, I
get her
didn't-
out of here.
I didn't have that after my duel. I was feeling it. Tony, you were feeling stressful. David, you were feeling stressful. It would've
I
been
would have come
nice
over
to
and
have
hugged
my
all
side.
three of you guys. Just throwing it out there. I would have come over and I'd have hugged you, and they'd have been like, Brad must be
See,
friends
I
with
was-
them.
I was penalized because I kept on hooking people. They had to make an announcement being like, "Hey, y'all need to stop. Y'all need to stay in your squares. You gotta
Yeah, same.
like
Stay
each
in
other,
your
but y'all
feet.
need to stay." Yeah.
Well, what do you think, David? Did anybody comment?
I think, well, no, for me, that actually goes down to like whether it's beneficial or not beneficial to go as a couple. I'm thinking study time. Like, did they get separate rooms housing? Did they house together? And do they get to help each other study for topics and like go back and forth in a
Ooh,
way that
true.
like you have an extra sort of study partner there who has maybe some more insider intel? Like you get twice as much info as you would if you were just your own person on your own square, sort of thing, right?
I think so.
That's my 2 cents on it.
Okay. Tony, what do you think?
I think I don't know. It's like hard to have, even if y'all are working together. It's hard to give anybody any sort of boost. It's like you either know it or you don't. So I don't really see it as like it's a little bit of an advantage. You know what I mean?
I do. I see your point, and perhaps I am more diabolical than I'd like to let on, but I could see that being exploited rather effectively.
Because it's
I'll
like you
take
can
this
help the other
category.
person study, but they
Yeah.
can't feed you answers. They could give you options of what you should do on the floor, but things change every 5 seconds.
Oh,
So
that's true.
Yeah.
so
That's
it's
true.
like what can somebody do? Like even if y'all have an alliance, it's just like anything could happen, you know? I think the only disadvantage is that like let's say one of them wins the money, then I mean they'd probably split it. You know what I mean? It's just like so if you lose and your wife is out there playing, you're like, oh okay, I'm still good. I still have opportunity to win money. So that's the only time where I'm like, ooh, I don't know.
I
I
agree
think if you
with
lose, that's it.
I agree with you. I would say that for folks who are friends of the show or have listened before, we've probably discussed that you don't know your position on the floor before filming on day one, but you do know the categories that will be on the floor. And in that sense, it's fair to say that you can't necessarily prepare for what's going to be next to you because you don't know what that is. But I do think that once you do know on day one what that map is, if you both survive day one, I think there's a lot of exploit to happen with respect to this is what's around me. I'm going to take this on. I know you're going to be in that position. I know you want this category. I'm not going to challenge the person over here. I'm going to leave that side of the floor open in case you get randomized. In other words, if I had a partner on the floor, and this is why I pitched the idea of a team floor, is because I do think it would add an interesting element. I don't think it's a game breaker, and I think we've seen in previous seasons that people who were coupled up didn't end up winning anyway. But it's still, I think there's an emotional advantage, and as somebody who would have really enjoyed having somebody there that I just knew had my back all the time, I think it might have given me a mental edge. And that's just something I don't know why they chose to do that when there's so many people who want to be on the show. So many people who audition and apply. Why go for a couple? I don't get it. But I guess
Wait.
we'll see. Maybe something happens.
Angie, wasn't the Bachelor couple on Tony's season?
Season 3.
Yeah,
Yep.
there's
So
a
there's
Yeah.
bachelor couple, and then there was also a mom and daughter.
Yep, mom
Okay.
and daughter and bachelor. And
We
had
had
a
them
couple.
on the show.
We had-
Yes, we
we
had
had
them
a-
on the show.
We had siblings and then we had 2 couples on ours. But none of them
I-
won. So
You know, I wish the floor would ditch the celebrities. I wish they would ditch that. Like, we should get Bo Bice on here, Angie. Can we get Bo Bice on here?
I reached out to him. I would
I,
love
see,
to.
he's repping Tennessee, so I automatically want to get to know
Yeah,
him.
let's
You know,
get him
he-
on here, Tony. We'll get him on here. But the thing I want to say is, I would much rather see a couple's edition of the floor. You could be boyfriend and girlfriend. You could be husband and wife. You could be boyfriend and boyfriend. I don't care. I want to see a couple because I want to see me have to eliminate my wife. Because I think that would be captivating television, right? Like, my wife and I are super competitive. And if she's up there, she's going to want to beat me. And I'm going to want to beat her. And I think that's fun television. So I kind of like the couples thing, but I like it in its own vacuum. Not with everybody else that it's not fair.
I honestly think like the couples, like mom and daughter, I think it's such an irrelevant like aspect to it that I don't even consider it like a disadvantage or an advantage. Because
Fair enough.
it's just the
The
game
mom
is
and daughter,
so
no.
unpredictable. Like there's no way that you can like really truly strategize outside of the game and be like, okay, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do this, and you're gonna do this, and like the plan actually working like all the way through, because there's so many factors that you have to keep in. There's a randomizer, there's people not doing things that you expect. So it's just like, to me, it's like you can strategize as much as you can with another person, but I don't think it's gonna be that big of an advantage.
But Tony,
That's
Tony,
fair.
Angie's boyfriend was on her season. I mean, we're missing that.
Oh, please. I am gonna see Andrew.
That joke. That's Jacob. Jacob just texted me and said that, so I'm not going to take credit.
Yeah,
It's
Andrew,
hilarious
I'm
though.
gonna see Andrew tomorrow. I'm actually going up to Madison, Wisconsin for the weekend to reunite with Tim, Extreme Sports, Andrew, Stocks, and Kevin, Art Supplies. We're gonna have a little mini season 2 reunion this weekend.
Angie,
So
you're going to be in Madison. You're going to be
gonna be in
close
Whiskey
to my house. You're going to be in my. You're going to be
I'm
like
gonna see
just
my
what
Hawkeyes. My Hawkeyes are taking on the
4
Badgers.
hours for me. 3
Come
hours.
say
for me.
hi. But so let's take out. I had to get that out of the way. I don't know. It's something I don't like. I thought I would at least say that so y'all know I'm pretty fair. Duel 1 chip brands. Okay. Once again, we had the famous chip duel in season 1. If fans of the floor remember that one, the poor lady who was like potato chips, Ruffles potato chips, and then she didn't get it right. That was like a thing. If anybody remembers, go back and rewind. That was a good one. I believe snack foods was the category. But anywho, we had Dom. Dom's the first guy up. He gets randomized. This guy's a personality, and I'm pretty sure Fox was terribly disappointed that he lost because he looked like he was going to have a lot to say and contribute just in terms of floor chit chat. David, do you remember Dom at all? Was he that kind of a personality in those opening?
This is what's so funny about like being there to shoot the season versus watching the season is different people are being definitely sort of like either edited or just have their big moments that they get to do, the things that they say, and they have these personalities that I wasn't necessarily seeing in the room. Because I do remember seeing him multiple times around the hotel, having small conversations next to him in line and things like that. But I never saw what I saw on TV that he did when I was watching the episode.
Isn't that funny? It's like he had a doppelganger.
Yeah.
There was like show Dom and then like non-show Dom. Interesting.
When I saw Dom, I got to be honest. I want to forgive me if this sounds horrible, David, but my son and I, Max, he's 12. We're watching this. I'm like, Dom looks like he's 55 years old, and I was like, that homie is younger than me. How is this possible? My son Max was like, Dad, how is he younger than you? I'm like, I don't understand this at all, Max. I can't
How old is
understand
he?
it. Dom was 44. I'm 46.
Wow. I think some people are just prematurely gray. I think Alex from season 3.
But he
Yeah,
carried
they
himself
gave
older.
us
Like,
both
David
of
doesn't carry himself old.
It
Like,
just
it's just,
happens.
he carries himself like an old man. I would have thought he's definitely a grandpa. I mean, I would have.
Or maybe
David,
he
am I
just-
wrong? Am I being rude, David? Tell me
Well,
if I am.
the only thing I would say is the outfit did not help him at all. The outfit
Thank you,
definitely
David.
aged him up a few years. Sorry.
This is the first episode I have no gripes about. This is my favorite episode of the floor
It was fun.
in a long time. I have
I
no
would say I
gripes about
really
this
like
episode.
The category
was a good one.
specifically, it's like they're getting really creative, which I love.
It was a good one. I think chips
Yeah.
went well. It went to be expected. Dom, who honestly he's old enough to have eaten a lot of chips and snacks, he seemed to really freeze on some basic ones. It was not hard work for Christina to win that. Dom ended up passing and stalling quite a bit. I think he took a while going through every iteration of chips for Sun Chips and still ended up passing. So
He
poor
didn't
guy
even
didn't-
know Ruffles,
He
Angie.
didn't manage, he didn't manage the clock very well, and I'm sure it was nerves. I'm sure he was the first to go that day. That can take you to another place in your brain, and I think he may, he's kicking himself. Like, of course he knows what Ruffles are. Of course he's going to see Takis at 7-Eleven and just smack his face every time he sees Takis. But it is the way it is. So Christina ends up winning, goes back to her wife, receives a consolatory hug on the set. Bleh. Okay, and then we move on. And I
Can I
believe
ask
in
you
love.
something? Can I ask
I'm
you
all
three-
about love, but no.
Can I ask you
ahead.
three something? Do y'all do what I do when we play? My son and I watch every week. We try to guess what's going to come up on the category. So we'll be like Ruffles, Lay's, Takis. Before they even go, we're naming 8 or 9. Do y'all do that, or am I the only one that
I
does that?
don't.
on the show?
I honestly,
Yes.
I don't. But I'm
Yes.
just-
Tony,
I
you should try
rehearse,
that.
though.
I rehearse
Actually,
like
no, that's not true. If it's like something that I'm really interested in, then I'll be thinking of it.
Yeah,
But if
see,
it's
I
like
think
a tips,
I'm
not really.
surprised, Tony. I'm surprised just because of the way you ran.
Yeah,
the
I'm
rules, like,
shocked. David, you do this, right?
I'm right in the middle. I'm Switzerland. I do both. Sometimes I'm like really focused in and I'm like, ooh, listening to the counter. Actually, the stupidest thing I do with my younger nephew is the little countdown sound that goes ding, ding, ding. We like do it and my nephew will be like, you get the first one, I'll get the second one. And so we go ding, ding, and then ding, and someone makes the last noise together. And it's like, we're more focused on that than we are like listing off the
hilarious, David.
category.
So
I like
that is
that.
super cute. That's really
That
really
is.
cute.
It's pretty fun.
That's really cute. I have to say that for some of those categories, the way my brain works, I'm a little OCD. I have things in my memory, and so even something like game shows or game show hosts, I like have the top 20 in my head, and so kind of walking up to the podium, I'm like Chuck Woolery, Steve Eubanks, like going through them. Now I still missed some that weren't in that catalog, but I was thinking them because I was anticipating so that I would be quick, because it really quickly became a game of speed. The longer I was on the floor, the more I saw that was the advantage. Like the faster you are, likely the better. So it was easier for me to
Angie.
just pre-think. Yeah.
Let me ask you this: did you study a lot on your
Uh-huh.
time on the floor? So
Yeah.
did you ever? Okay, so I'm wondering if you do this too. Did you ever like whenever you see a duel, be like, not necessarily be like, oh, I got this because of prior knowledge, but like be like, oh, I could study that and do.
Oh,
really well.
100%. 100%.
That's what I was feeling with a lot of some of the like Simpsons characters.
Yes.
Which we'll get into.
I was like, I know how I would
I
study
mean, I
that.
know a few things, but I'm like, oh, this is really studyable. This is
Very
really
studyable. You're right.
Like,
Some are
I feel like I
very
could nail this if I,
finite.
had the time to really just look over all the characters and everything. But
Yeah.
that's something that I do.
Yeah, and commodities, and that's our second duel. So that's a really good segue because
Yes.
commodities is, it's a known it's a known quantity. If you just ask ChatGPT to rattle off the top 50 commodities, of course you need images, and in this case there were some images I found challenging. I wonder what you guys thought. But in general, I think it's a studyable category. Were there
Honestly,
any images that caught
when it
you?
comes to like almost general knowledge categories where they show those like almost stock image pictures, I feel like
Yeah.
I have a worse time with that because I feel like I call things different things than what they are. I don't know if, I mean, that's what happened with me. That's how I lost. It was like a common sense sort of thing, but I'd rather like study an ultra specific category that I'm not familiar with and
Yes.
try to know that than like toiletries or
Yes.
like snacks or because it's
I
just
think we
like
both lost on slides that were like we had 10 different names and it wasn't the name they wanted.
exactly that's what it is. It's like with like let's say Harry Potter characters, Dumbledore is always going to be Dumbledore.
Right.
But like with Q-tips, it's cotton swabs. It's you know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
like there's so many, and it's like especially on like growing up in like a cultural household, it's like we call things different things, and it's it's just
That's pretty
Yeah.
It was
I
my
actually
least.
have
This was
something-
my least favorite duel, by the way, of all the duels.
Really?
My least
Commodities.
favorite.
It
Yeah.
there was nothing sexy or interesting or nail biting about it. But there were some. I mean, there's nothing sexy about like palm oil, which I thought was a difficult one. By
Speak
the
for
way,
yourself, Angie. Speak
Palm
for
oil. What is
yourself.
palm oil? David, what is palm oil? Tell me what that
David.
is.
Oh God, it's just a type of oil, isn't it? Why should I?
palm
why would I
oil.
know?
Oh, as a Nigerian, I know palm oil.
What is
I
palm
know
oil?
Ask Tony
palm
that
oil.
question.
We put
it's
palm
very
oil in
high in
everything.
cholesterol.
What is palm
It's not
oil?
good. It's
Palm
not
oil
good if you
is
have high
like it's just
cholesterol.
like another cooking oil.
Yeah,
It's
but it's
another
high
cooking
in
oil, and a lot
saturated
of our dishes are just
fats.
like soaked in palm oil. It's like
Okay, I didn't know that.
yeah.
Or wait, I
Yeah.
could be wrong.
Palm oil
Somebody's
is
checking me.
which
I'm
I
thinking
actually didn't
cottonseed
recognize
oil.
because I've never seen palm like the actual plant.
Me
Like I've seen
either.
palm oil, but I've never actually seen the
I
plant.
thought they were
I didn't know
olives.
what it was either.
I thought they were olives in the image, and I kept thinking
Oh,
they
That
were
was like
olives.
the image.
I thought it was like
for
walnuts or
tobacco.
something. I couldn't
and-
tell.
Yeah. What were you saying, David?
Oh, the image for tobacco. I did not know that was what tobacco
Weed.
looks like when you're drying the leaves. I was like, what is that? I didn't
I
know.
wanted somebody to say
It
cannabis.
didn't look like tobacco.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
with
I
you,
didn't know
David.
that
I was
either.
like,
Eh,
I don't know.
what
Nobody
I
was
know.
thinking that it was the devil's weed, huh? I thought for sure somebody was going to guess that. But what was the other one? Uranium. I was like, Dash, bro. They put like the symbol, like
I
did
was
you-
gonna say radium or something.
yeah, or plutonium, because I was thinking of like Doc Brown and Back to the Future, because like isn't that like the sign on the flux capacitor?
Would be like
Either way,
radioactive.
yeah, I would have rattled something like that off. But poor Dash, he went for it. He said, hey, it's the most general category he could think of. He grabbed it. Brad ends up winning, and Brad almost without any apologies, hemming, hawing, or justification. Maybe it was just the editing, but he goes, "I'm going back to the floor," and Rob's like, "Okay, bye." It was like the quickest transition ever.
Of course he's going back to the floor. That's what most people do until we meet Aaron.
Until we meet Aaron, and she's coming soon. Duel 3, we meet Bo Bice, who I'm going to tell you right now wins the prize for best hair. That man, whatever shampoo he's using, I want to know, because that was some luscious hair he's got. I remember Bo Bice from American Idol when he was on originally back in the day. So I was a little fangirly about that, because I do remember rooting him on back then. He didn't get nearly the celebrity treatment of some of the other guests.
Right.
I was kind of bummed.
Yeah, they treat him
Okay,
like
well,
he
listen.
was nothing.
We also have on this season, season 3 MasterChef winner. And
Right, I
it's
heard of that.
not like no one, I don't know if they're going to talk about it eventually, but it was like not promoted at all that she was there and that's what she was doing.
That's lame.
That's crazy. If you want another game show, you come on another game show to win another game show. You greedy.
You're
Do you think, am I wrong to think Rob should have planned ahead for this? And when Bo lost, he should have said, "That's a no for me, dog." I mean, that should have been.
Oh, that
Would have been like, that's the best, right? Because he's like, we're not gonna have you. That's a no for
That's
me,
a little
dog.
pitchy. That's a little pitchy, Bo. You were a little pitchy there.
Yeah, a little pitchy. That's a no for me, dog. I wanted to see that, Tony.
No, that's
Why didn't I see that as a fan of the show?
I don't know, but Bo, I have to say, he was very gracious. He seemed to be a really cool dude. I would have probably enjoyed hanging with them. But they had mammals. Again, I think these are just sides that didn't get used in previous seasons. So I don't fault Fox for wanting to take the path of least resistance, work smarter, not harder. Let's pull those slides together and call it mammals. So they did. And I didn't find any that were terribly difficult. I think, somebody stumbled over a meerkat, I think, and then they stumbled over mongoose toward the end. I'm trying to think. I think most people got them right.
I
though.
think
It's
she
just-
was doing a really good job. Like
yeah, Kiara
a lot
did
of the stuff
great.
where it took me a little bit to get she got instantly.
Yeah,
And I think Bo just couldn't keep up with that, unfortunately.
I think
but
it
she
was
was
speed.
really good.
right. But this is cool. It's introducing this X Factor, which I think is going to be interesting. I'm wondering if car racing is going to be like our season's periodic table.
Or like any
yeah.
category that Brian had.
Or any category Brian had, right? Or European history with David, right? From season 3.
Oh
Like
my
the one that
gosh.
people are like, ain't gonna do it, don't want it. And now they've got a chance to give it up. So we're finally seeing this category that people are like playing hot potato with because nobody wants to deal with it. And that was basically what Kiara said, right? She went into viral moments, even though her category was mammals. She felt that as an influencer, she'd have an edge. And so she took on Sam, I think, in viral moments. What'd you think of that category?
I actually was excited to get to this. So when the duel first started, at first I was like, are they just putting text on celebrities and calling it a meme? But
That's
then
right.
I was looking
Yeah,
more and
yeah.
more. I'm like, wait, these are actual memes. They were memes. I do remember that. I remember
They
the Bernie
were?
Sanders. I remember the Ariana Grande with the donut. I was like, okay, these are actual memes, not anything crazy, too niche or anything like that. But like
Right.
everybody, like most people in America would know somewhat, which
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty cool. I thought it was interesting.
Yeah, it was
My-
different.
My son thought it was going to be more like 6, 7, and all that
Yeah.
stuff.
I didn't
That's
think it
what
was
he
going to be
thought.
Guess the Celebrity.
Yeah, it was like a text over a celebrity. I think if you weren't familiar with the meme, you still could have been competitive.
Yeah.
So I think in that
Well, they were
sense, it
getting
was a good
correct
category.
answers they were getting correct answers just by like naming the celebrity that was on the meme.
That's all
because,
they
like,
did.
what
Exactly.
is
Yeah. So
what
it
is
was
the name
like,
for the meme? You know, the viral moment.
Yeah,
Like, what do
I
you
was
call
thinking it was
There
going
is
to be
no-
like Charlie bit my finger.
Right.
Like
Right.
Mhm.
Charlie the
But-
unicorn or some like salad fingers or something.
But David, that goes back to my beef with the floor. It's not fair if I'm dueling Tony and my answer is Bernie Sanders and her answer is Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez. I feel like that's taking 2 seconds to 1.
Yeah.
But
It-
there were some times where somebody only said one person in the picture and they took it.
which again is weird, right, Tony?
It was only
I
They should-
think well, this is what I think happened. I think they would have been fine. I think regardless if they said one person, but a lot of people were just like, okay, let me say it all in one feel swoop,
cover your
and then
your
covered
butt,
it
right?
all, and then they dinged it, and they just went on with it.
Yeah, you've got to cover your butt because if you said one and not the other, then you're
Exactly. That's
frazzled.
why with my fantasy duel, what did I say? Like Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. I didn't have time to be like Harry Potter. You know what I mean? I got to say the whole
Yeah, then
thing.
you got to be like Prisoner
Could
of
you
Oh
say-
no, it was everything everywhere all at once. I was like, I gotta say this correctly the first time. I'm not. That's the whole duel.
Ain't gonna do
gone.
it again, right?
Could I say grande? Could I just say grande?
I think in
You
that
could,
instance,
but
probably.
who just said James instead of LeBron James, and that kind of
Well, I
that
think
was
because
I
there
was
might be
thinking
more Jameses than there are Grandes, but I think it
That
goes to
happened-
each duel.
that did happen to the Utah guys with the sports figures
Yes.
or Hall of Famers. Is that Justin was usually saying the full name and his competitor was only saying the last name, and they were both getting it right. And I was like, whoa! Like Justin's saying the full name, like he should be like, why don't they both have to say the full name?
yeah.
Thank you, David. I agree with you on that.
I think it's one
not
of those
fair
things
because that's
where
an
it's
extra
like-
second.
It's one of those things where it's just like you can just say the last name, like. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I keep on talking about my duels, but that's the only thing I can think of off the top of my head. But the TV mom duels, when I was on the floor, sorry. But the TV mom duels, I studied the full name, and then when they did the briefing to us, they said you can say whatever you want. And I was noticing, like, you can say the first, last, Mrs. this, and I was noticing, like, I was saying the full name, and he was saying just the last name, and I think me trying to think of just one name, even though I've been studying the full names for characters I've never seen before in my life, was more difficult than, like, you know what I mean, than saying the full name. So
Yeah.
it's one of those things where, like, did you study the full name, and is it, but it's also speed. A millisecond can make or break
Yeah.
you.
I think,
But I think that's one of those things where it's just like, I think they were probably told you can say the last name and you'll be fine, but sometimes when you're studying or when you get used to something, you want to say the full name just to be sure.
because that's what you're used to. I also just think listeners should know that, because of editing, they don't televise the briefings that contestants get. And basically, before each duel, there's a small set of rules that are laid out. And in most cases, the last name is sufficient unless there happens to be more than one person with that last name in the category that would qualify. For example, hockey in my season, they said Howe. Turns
Oh,
out
yeah,
that there were
David
several
mentioned that.
Howes who played hockey. But if you commit to a first and last name and you get the last name right, but you botch the first name, you do not get credit. You've considered a wrong answer. And that's what also happened during the Utah duel this season. So I just think people need to be aware of that and just know that the rules switch up a little bit and it's not bad judging. It's just the way it played out. And it's
There was
a little
another
technicality.
person, somebody got the last name right and the first name off by one letter. I
Yeah,
forgot
that
who it
was in the Utah one with Hall of Famer. It was Mia Hamm, but he said like Nia
Yes,
Hamm or
that-
Maya Hamm
yes.
or Leah. I think he said Leah.
Yeah, Leah. Which if he just
If he
said
just said
Ham,
Hamm, he would have been fine.
yeah, it would have been.
You're right.
Yeah.
So okay, we got car racing introduced. It's like this big like looming thing. It's going to be like a car wreck. Eventually, when somebody gets it, I can't wait to see it played out. But eventually, we get Sam, who actually edges Kiera, the influencer, out, wins viral memes, stays because again he too is afraid of the stock car racing category, and decides to go after Aaron, our Iowa Hawkeye friend, and tackle her in Simpsons characters. I mean, somebody on the floor even said she had like the Simpsons color on and everything.
Yeah.
So that was a great duel, and I think it was a nice redemption duel from the way they botched Simpsons in season 1. I
Yes.
shouldn't say they botched it, but then
And
they,
I love the fact that they played the Simpsons music.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
dude,
like that. They
was
never. I was like,
funny.
they're getting their money's worth because I know
Yes.
this wasn't an easy feat.
they
You
paid
had to
for
be able to
some-
do the
Yeah.
license for all of
The
those
s-
characters.
paid
The
for that
Simpsons-
licensing, they were going to use it. Yeah,
Right.
They played that whole thing. Aaron
I've
had like
never
a
seen that
walk-up
happen
song.
before for any other duel.
Well, Fox owns The Simpsons, right?
Oh.
And The Simpsons have been on since I was in 6th grade, and I'm 46 years old.
Yeah, they're-
I mean, I know nothing about The Simpsons outside of Bart, Marge, Homer, Maggie, and Lisa.
Lisa, yeah.
Yeah, so like I was out on this, but it was a fun duel to watch
yeah.
because I was rooting for Aaron. I wanted her to win since David's out. I wanted her to win.
And I usually don't like it when like opponents like react to their competitor like saying things or whatever, be like, "Oh, good job," or da da da. I usually don't like that. But the way Aaron was like encouraging him, like whenever he would like almost get something right, like, you got it. Like the was it the comic book guy or whatever. Like I just like the way that she was just like, "Oh, yep, that's it." Like she knew
Yep.
her stuff.
No, I think it's great to see fans going at it for fun. Like I
Yeah.
think I remember enjoying. I think when the nerves go and you're in a moment and you're just kind of enjoying it for what it is, and you're like, I know this stuff. Like I really know this stuff, and this is fun. And I
Yeah.
think when you reach that moment, it shows. And I think they were
Dueling is
both having
very
a heck
fun.
of a lot of
I
fun.
feel like that is so true, Angie. I feel like not a lot of people talk about like I mean obviously the nerves are there, but dueling is so fun. I love dueling.
It really is a good time. And when you settle into
It
it,
is.
it's like
It
just
is,
keep,
when you get
just-
into it, especially when it's a topic that you know or you feel confident and you're like, oh okay, I actually this is really fun.
yeah. And it was great. There was like Santa's little helper, Sideshow Bob.
Yes,
whatever.
yes,
Itchy,
yes.
Itchy, scratchy, itchy.
Which
And
is
then
why
they were
like
kinda
I
like,
really admired Erin because like you could tell she was like having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
just wanted to keep on dueling. My
Yeah.
only issue though is sometimes people just duel just to duel and without any sort of like rhyme or reason. And it's just like if you can pull it off, that's great. But if you're just doing that with no strategy, you just want to be aggressive just to be aggressive, then
you're
it's
gonna
like
burn out.
you're gonna lose. It eventually you're gonna lose. And I knew that she was gonna lose because the duel before she lost, it was really, really close.
Banned
And when
books
it's like that, you gotta slow down.
Yeah.
You already established yourself as an aggressive player. You slow down.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
she had a reputation to uphold at this point. She couldn't go back to the floor after being like, "We gotta play," right?
But still, though, it's like you want to. I mean, this is only episode 3. You want to
Yeah.
stay until the end. Like you gotta. If she was able to pull it off,
Yeah.
that'd be great. But I remember when she went up again. I was like, wait, girl, don't do it.
Yeah.
You're gonna lose after this.
And
Tony, can I ask you something? I asked David this over the phone. What do you think? What did you think of last week when did Tony freeze up? Did Tony freeze up?
yeah, she's frozen. She'll be
Oh,
back.
I think she did. Yep.
She just got a megawatt smile. It's
Yeah, she's smiling. Tony,
She can
what?
probably
I'm gonna
hear us,
ask
so
it. Maybe
it's
she can hear us.
Yeah.
Tony, what did you think about the girl going back to the floor when she had a chance to be the first person ever to have the opportunity to steal a category? Maybe she didn't hear it.
Yeah, I don't think so.
David,
She'll
you
probably
answer that
be
question.
back. Oh, me.
Man.
Oops, sorry. Go ahead, David. What did you think?
No, you're good. I was thinking that was Tony coming back in, but it looks like she's still frozen. No,
yeah,
Tony.
she'll come back.
You know, the only thing that I can think about that is that I hear you, Brad, when you're saying like, why make that decision? Why? And it seems so frustrating. I think she just didn't know the next category, and it was the first day, and she hadn't studied it at all, or she was feeling really, really nervous. I think she just didn't feel confident enough and went back to the floor. And I think that whole first, especially in this season, it seems more than last season, previous seasons. The first few episodes, people play it so safe because I think people have been watching the floor for like 3 seasons now, and then when we're
Yeah.
on the 4th season,
Yeah.
they see it being really strategic and really easy to just lay low and be cowardly for a while, which I didn't have that choice, right? Because I got randomized right away. But I was so stoked about my randomization, though.
Yeah.
But I think it was her just, 1, trying to play it super safe, and 2, just not feeling confident in the next category that she had or options.
I
that she
think
had.
some people too just don't. They don't have a strategy. They haven't. Whether they haven't. I don't know everybody's motivation for being on the show. I'm a very competitive person. I like winning things. I'm also, I think, a good loser. I'm a gracious loser. And I recognize bigger picture stuff like, making friends and lasting memories. And those are important to me too. But I like to win. And I think for some people, that plays into, I need a strategy. What am I going to do? I need a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C. And sometimes on the floor, they go through A, B, and C like that. And you don't have a D or an E or an F. And you're like, I have no idea what I'm doing. And then there's just the pressure of, you don't get time to decide. They don't say, all right, we're going to give you about 15 minutes. Go have a seat. Think about your next move. Come back and tell us what you want to do. It's immediate. What are you going to do? And you're like, Oh my gosh. And for some people, I think honestly, they go back to the floor, partly because they know it's the smart move. I think a lot of it has to do with I need more time. I don't know what I'm doing and I'm safe down there. I have time to plot. It's not exciting television, but it's self-preservation. I think that's
Tony,
just what
I
they're doing.
asked David this
totally.
question before you got disconnected. What did you think of last week? Oh, she's gone again.
She's going again. Well,
She's like, you know
Marcia,
what?
That timing was
I'll be
impeccable.
curious.
It was impeccable, David. I was like, oh, Tony's here. She's into this. And then she's gone.
I am curious what Tony will say about Marcia. She'll be back. I believe in her. She'll be back. I think
She's
David,
like, I'm joining the show permanently, but not.
yeah, but not tonight. She's gonna keep us
Not
wanting
tonight.
more. Yeah.
I've got things to do, and it's not be on this show.
Great. I think David, you would have gone back to the floor if you'd gotten 3 in a row, right? I think your plan was to
Yeah.
you had that strategy in mind.
What-
After that, you weren't sure probably what your next move was, but you're like, hey, let me at least get 3. And I'm a little surprised Marcia didn't at least have that in her brain. Let me get 3. But then I think she probably needed time to consider and probably had no idea that was going to come right back in her face. Who knew what the randomizer would do, right? That's not on her.
So let me ask you this question for both of you. If I stay on the floor and I get 3, I get the time boost or the steal, right? If I stay and get 3 more, do I get another time boost?
Yes.
Could I have minus 10 seconds to play?
You can't double. Well, I don't know if the rules changed, David, on your season. On our season,
Right.
you could not stack them. You had to use them. You have to use a time boost before you get another time boost. And you can't pocket them either. So you couldn't say, I got a time boost, I'm going to keep going and like rack up more victories and get another time boost. You had to use it before you could accrue something else. That was
Because
what
that
we-
would be cool. Dude. If I got 3 time boosts, I've got 15 seconds.
Yeah, right? You could just like
Thank you.
wait. Yeah.
I don't know, man. That
I
sounds
don't know.
pretty boss.
Well, I'm hoping that Tony can join us back, but I want to move on. We've got like 3 more duels, and we're going to get to, Ashley's big moment, which is about to happen because Erin, she's like, great, I'm on a roll. Let's go. I'm going to be aggressive. She picks the librarian in banned books. I'm going to flex a little. I'm a lit professor, been a lit professor for 30 years. That was like one, I was like, that category, I love this category. It is awesome. And it didn't disappoint, but it was a nail biter, right? Came down. They were tied both at 8 seconds toward the end. And it was just a matter of who stumbled more and who was faster than the other. I have to say, Christy from West Virginia, love her spirit. She's great. She's on social media. She posted some lovely, gracious things today. But I got to say, I can't believe she missed Their Eyes Were Watching God. I'm sorry, that is just like a classic librarian book. And I think she's kicking herself on that. But ultimately, I thought it was a good duel. They were head to head, neck and neck. It wasn't decided.
I really love that duel. It like really put into perspective. Like I didn't realize all those books were banned. Like that's crazy.
Or attempted
Those
to
were-
be banned. Like the
Yeah.
dictionary. I think honestly,
I was
somebody
like,
attempted
dang,
to
these
ban
are
it.
all like all the
Because
books
it
I had
has-
to read at school.
Yeah, it's got some swear words in it. Like the
Yeah,
history
I
of
was
banned books is
think some of these
fascinating.
books. I'm like, how are they banned? Like,
Wait, all those books are really banned?
No,
Huckleberry Finn is
They
banned?
attempted to be banned
Or
were
yeah.
banned.
Yeah.
And banned is important to understand. We're talking contextually. You can ban things in local libraries like that.
Okay.
But some of these people tried to ban and then they weren't banned or they weren't approved, whatever, but every single one of them. And some are obvious, right? Like Lady Chatterley's Lover, for example, if you read that, hello, that is an M for mature rating kind of book, right? We don't put that in the kids' school books. But things like, Waldo and the Farting Dog.
Or where's Waldo?
It promotes public flatulence. That is exactly the reason that people wanted to ban that
Wait,
in a public
I
library.
don't understand that because when I saw that, I was like,
Yeah,
this is
seriously.
crazy. They're banning a farting book. We all fart. What's the problem with that? Like I was like,
honestly-
Angie's going to be like, Brad, this is right up your alley because all you talk about is taking dumps and farting.
Right?
So, hey, this is the greatest
I'm
thing
gonna
ever.
do a copy of Everybody Poops for Christmas. It was one of my favorite books to read to my kids. But
Yeah.
no, they did. I mean, honestly, these people have, they're tight asses. I'm gonna say it. I'm sorry. They don't like farting. And I don't think that's, that's ironic. Anyway, a bunch of those. Thanks, David. That was delayed,
I
but I
think
love you
it,
for
it,
doing
it
that.
got yeah. It
We
took a
liked it.
second, and I was like, "Oh, pun!
I love
a
you.
pun. I love a pun."
You are now you're even more. my
David's
favorite.
great, man.
I'm
David's
so
great.
I'll have a banned books podcast. Somebody can look for it later because I have stories upon stories of all these books and the reasons for
Banned Books Redux with Angie.
Yeah, banned books redux. But I loved it. I knew a lot of those, but we have other book categories. Our season had young adult fiction and New York Times bestsellers. Studying those lists of books is pretty easy to do, but also easy to miss. What'd you say, Tony? I'm sorry.
I said I felt like there were some repeats too.
Yeah, there were. The Hate You Give, that
Yeah.
was on our season as well as this one. And then, of course, Incredibly Loud and Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close was in a different category in a different season. But anyway, I thought it was good. I thought they both did great. And of course, Erin eked it out. It was great to watch. It was fun. Everybody was like, oh, it came down to the wire. And then she's like, I'm on a roll. Let's go. We're going for the trifecta. Let's hit up theme parks. And now we get little pocket-sized Ashley, who looks like she's not going to hurt anybody. She's not aggressive. And man, she just boom, 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 all the way to the end. So theme parks.
So now, David, I know you said that you didn't really get to know a lot of people since, but did you get to talk to Ashley, get to know Ashley in any sort of way?
I know I feel so bad with every answer or every person you guys have said because
No, you're
I was
totally
eliminated
fine.
Just make
last
something up.
episode. I'm like, oh,
kicked me in the
Ashley,
face.
no. I
She
don't, she
grabbed me
kicked me
by
in the
my
face. No.
That's okay, man. I just, she seemed really sweet. She,
I love her. She's my fave.
I like
my
her
fave.
because she's not arrogant. She's capable, but not a blowhard, right? She's not
Yeah.
throwing people under the bus. She's not criticizing people. She's just playing, and she's so far playing well. So she also
Doing
hates
great.
racing, right? She won that duel,
Yeah.
but she gulped at racing. She's like, no, thank you. Theme parks was fine, pretty straightforward, right? I mean, that also came down to the wire. Really.
Wait, now I want to say about theme parks. I was naming, before it started, I said Disney World, Disneyland, Universal.
Me too.
And then it was like, some were like, whoa, this is churros and log flumes. It was not what I thought, but it was great. It was a great one.
No, I think that if I saw that roller coaster, I'd be thinking, I'd be looking in the background being like, what specific ride
Right.
is that? Like, I'd be
Cedar
thinking
Point, right? You're like naming off all the
Yes.
Yeah.
theme parks, yeah. I can
And
see
Angie,
that.
you know how we feel about blowhards on this show. We're not a big fan of blowhards.
No, we don't. They're not our fans, and that's okay. There's different shows for those people.
Yes.
Okay, so there were a couple of maybe there were some misses, but that height requirement sign that people stumbled over that a bit. But I think, I thought that was pretty obvious. I thought Souvenir Cup was hard. I mean, I
That
was with
was
Erin at the
difficult.
end. She's like,
I
Sashi,
really
freezing.
wanted her to take it though. Like
I know.
after that happened and everyone was like cheering, I was like, "Oh, please win!" And then,
And then we get this new
that was
person.
that was a good duel. That was a really
Yeah.
good duel.
And then, I thought it was great too. I enjoyed that. That's why I think this was a really good episode. I mean, there was a
Yeah.
lot going on. And finally, we're hitting the final stretch. We got 2 duels left. We're wondering, okay, what's Ashley going to do? I wonder if Ashley had not inherited car racing, but had inherited something like influencers or TV stars, if she would have gone back to the floor with that. I think because she had car racing, she's like, there's no way on God's green earth I'm going to get stuck with this. I got to get rid of it. The only way to get rid of it is to go for broke, and let's see if I can get the steal the category. So I think that was her mission. She went in, stayed up there. Duel 8 comes along, and I love this. She's like, Ty, I don't think he knows much about Brat Pack as you've been flexing, bro. Let's see. And boy, if she wasn't right. I gotta say, Ty had the generational advantage. He had the time advantage. That was his original category. Even if maybe producers changed their minds and gave him something new, he still had more time with that category than anybody else. And he really stumbled.
Okay.
That's not even my generation. I think I even did better than him.
Yeah.
Okay, I know the Brat Pack. Do you think instead of a butt fart, he had brain farts? Because I feel like he knows more about Brat Pack than he did today. Because I'm like, how do you not know Andrew McCarthy? I know
Pretty in
Andrew
Pink?
McCarthy.
How do
Yeah,
you know
like-
Pretty in Pink?
How do you not know that?
How do you
at
not know
Muriel's
16
wedding or
Candles?
something.
16 Candles, that was crazy. I love 16 Candles. How does he not know 16 Candles?
Yeah, I'm like, I think he had a brain fart. I do. I think he knows more. I'm going to give him credit. I've been really nice tonight, Tony. I feel like I've been nice. I feel like he just had a brain fart. I don't feel like that's really his expertise. I think he knows it more than he came off.
He had to have frozen. I can't believe he didn't study. But the guy won 20K. I can't think he feels bad. I don't think people feel bad. It just felt like, come on, dude. Like, I wanted it to be more of a fight, especially coming off of band book and theme parks. It felt like a kind of dud. Rob, of course, he got his
St.
moment.
Elmo's Fire.
He was up there for St. Elmo's Fire. He was up there for
I
himself.
was going to be mad if she lost after using half her time to say the very handsome and
Rob.
talented Rob Lowe or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Tony, that
Who's
was
up
bothering
to
me.
say
What
all
is this?
that?
I thought that too, girl. I thought that too. I said, ooh,
I was
that
like,
is
you
a
better win.
calculation,
I'm going to be pissed.
right?
And don't let it be a close margin either.
Yeah, what if she'd lost by like a half a
A
second,
second.
and she added the adjective to his name?
It's funny. My wife says that every night. The very handsome Brad Lowe. It's
I
different.
know, right?
But hey. we're
same
there.
number of syllables though, so you're doing
Same
good.
number of syllables.
There you go. All right, and then we get the end. It's ready. It's do or die. She's like, I still have this freaking car racing albatross around my neck. I've got to get rid of it. I've got to win the advantage. I'm going for it. And poor Kyle, the look on that dude's face. I swear, I know that look, by the way, because I was randomized the last duel of episode 1 of my season. And I remember before the very last duel, it was probably like this for Tony and David too. Y'all kind of look around at each other and you're like, we're going on episode 2. We're going, all I have to do is one more randomizer. As long as we don't get randomized, we're going on to the next week.
Yeah,
This is
yeah,
great.
yep.
And you're like, we're not going home today. And you feel this. And then I was randomized, and I remember my stomach just hit the ground. I got the sweats. It was like a whole thing, and I could see Kyle just like you got it,
Literally like, oh, so close.
like I thought I was going for the next episode. This is crap. And then she picks him. Why wouldn't she? Emmy TV shows. All you had to do is search for like the top Emmy award-winning
Which
shows.
I was surprised. I thought I didn't think she was gonna do as well, not because of like my previous or conceived notions about her or anything, but just because it was kind of like I don't know, it was the last sort of, you know what I mean? It was the last duel. She might not have had that in her radar. I didn't expect her to, because it seemed like she knew her stuff. Do you know what I mean? And I thought it was at least gonna be closer on his end. Like I thought he would know a lot more because it's his category. But I was really surprised. I did not expect that. I thought she wasn't going to be as prepared as she was.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of which shows were missed at all. I don't know. I don't know. Does anybody recall? I know. Let me think for a minute. I think there was some pausing. I think Kyle paused, and I think it was a speed round more than anything because I think they both knew most of the slides, but I think he was slower in getting them out, which makes sense because Ashley had been up there for 2 duels. She was in the zone. She was ready. She was on that pace.
And I think he made a couple of wrong guesses here and there, but I think Ashley ultimately she's very quick, she's my fave right now since Aaron's gone. She's my. I mean,
I like her.
I like her a lot, which I can't find her either.
I like her.
We
I think
can't
I got
find
her
her?
on
Oh
Instagram.
my gosh.
I think I got her on Instagram. I'll let
Thank
you know.
you, Detective Angie.
Can we get her on the show, Angie? Can we get her on the show?
I'd love to. I'm going to reach out to her. We'll make it happen.
She was
especially after
great.
this week. She'll have a lot to say, a lot to talk about strategy. She got the choice. I think it's pretty clear she's going for the category steal, and I guess we're going to.
She said that, right?
she
She
will.
said that.
Yeah.
She
Yeah,
said
she said
it.
that,
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
3 duels in a row, category steal, $20,000.
Boom.
Yeah.
Let's do it, right? And so
Yeah.
now
Let me ask you guys, if you're her, you're sealing a category way away from where you are, right?
I don't think so. I don't
What?
know, man. I'm telling you, Brad, this was going to be my question to folks is do you have a prediction on what she'll steal? This is really, really tricky because I love this new mechanic to the game because there's different ways to go at it. Yeah. On one hand, Brad, you might want to pick something that's far away from the action, but you're only safe until the randomizer comes again and you could be boom, right on it. I would pick a category near to me where I am on the floor that I want somebody to challenge me on because I know that I'm like going to kick butt and
But then
I'm
if-
going back to the floor with it.
But then you inherit
But then
that.
if somebody was if somebody, let's say she switches with oh gosh, who's next to her?
I'll
I
tell
don't
you in
know.
a second. I got a map. Go ahead. Talk and I'll find
Okay,
out.
so let's say she switches with someone who's next to her, and she inherits that category. She wins a couple duels in that category, but because that person's next to her, they can just challenge her, and if she wins that, then she has car racing again. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
that's why I'm
Ooh,
saying, Tony,
yeah.
you're with me, right? You go
Yeah, so,
way
like,
away
I would
from
go,
you.
I don't want anything to do.
wait,
I'm
wait,
assuming
okay.
She
I see what
chose
you're
the
saying.
category steal because she doesn't want anything to do with car racing. So I would
No.
do that in the very, very back corner. I don't want anything to do with it. I'm gonna do it a single square, so barely anything's touching it.
No, I see
And
what
I'm
you're
just gonna-
saying. I see what you're saying. I guess,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm thinking maybe further. I'm thinking maybe with the less people on the floor, it would be interesting to pick somebody near you and like command that and then like attack it. I don't know, but you're right. Like, I think she'll
Yeah.
probably go, she might switch. Well, Molly's got paleontology. Molly's up in the right hand corner. Does she want paleontology?
Do you have a photo of every category, Angie? I'm shocked.
I have maps and more maps. I am,
Oh my gosh.
Wait,
Angie,
I'm
listen,
a
Angie brings it.
community week.
Comcast Networks,
I'm a
Angie
floor
brings
machine.
it.
Don't let the mom act fool you. I am a machine. So, or she's gonna go for Sadia. I think she says it's Sadia or Sadia. That's Canadian icons. I don't know how much Ashley.
That's
knows.
top
my
right
gosh, it's
corner.
gonna be
I
all
saw
the
that.
Grassy Cash.
That's bottom right
Yo,
corner. Would you do
one
that?
thing about
bottom
me,
right.
I love Degrassi, and if every single Canadian icon on there is gonna be Degrassi people,
Ryan Gosling. Ryan
Ryan
Gosling.
Gosling,
Brian
Justin Bieber,
Boitano.
Drake.
I'm sending race cars back to the far
Okay, or
left
Shelby,
corner. That's what I'm
Literally,
saying.
I don't even, and I mean, are any of y'all into race cars?
No.
Well, here's the thing.
Yeah,
It's
so
gonna be-
it's gonna be a boring duel. Like it's gonna be boring, even if they all get it right. I feel like it's just gonna be boring.
It's-
Like
and
unless
it's
something
not-
crazy
okay,
happens.
So his original category, stock car racing, right? Which isn't exactly the same as NASCAR, but I have a feeling they're not going to play favorites. They're going to have people like Danica Patrick and Jeff Gordon and some of those people. But then they're
Richard
gonna do things
Petty.
like a pit crew. They're going to do things like a lap, Indianapolis. I don't know. How much can you do with cars? I don't know. But I'll tell you this: her four corner choices are Shelby, movie musicals, lower left corner. She could go
I would
back
take that.
I would
to
take that.
Brad, who had commodities and has now inherited hip hop. So does
Nope.
Ashley go for hip hop bands? Does she go for paleontology? Does she go for Canadian icons or movie musicals? Because if we're thinking
Movie
strategy
musicals.
only, the corner makes the most sense
But
right
I
now.
would go for like a category that I feel like people would be intimidated by, even if it's a category that I'm not super familiar with. Nothing where it's just like, okay, this is impossible for me to bluff. But like something where it's just like, because if I choose something like something everybody knows, they're gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna challenge this person for
Exactly.
sure. But it needs to be a
Exactly.
little bit intimidating enough that you know, like
Exactly.
people kind of back off.
Exactly. The best
So Tony,
strategy-
you're saying go in with the Keelan effect. Go in with paleontology, even if you don't know it. People are scared to challenge it, but people aren't scared. People aren't scared to challenge.
Keelan knew periodic tables.
He
think
did.
It's more of like a. Yeah, I think honestly, I think that's a. If she picks a category that either she can study really well or she just knows it's like niche and people
Right.
don't want to touch it. Let's say it's like biology. People
Right.
don't want to go for biology, but if she's
Right.
good at biology and she can study it and
Yep.
people can be scared of her, they're not going to go for that piece. People don't
The
like
best
to play.
thing she could have done, though, in all honesty, and I know hindsight's always 2020, but this for future floor players. This is how I'll play it if I ever play again or any of us play again. You don't have a weak category. You don't ever say you don't know anything about anything unless you're trying to confuse somebody into making them think you're weak when you're actually super strong and you're trying to lure them in. So the fact that everybody's like, I don't like car racing, I'm a terrible driver, that's not the best way to go. From the jump, she should have said, you know what? My dad's a NASCAR freak. He took me to Indy 500. I know stock car racing. I used to go-kart when I was a kid with my older brothers. I live, eat, and breathe stock car racing. Then she keeps that category because clearly it's intimidating and she takes the time boost with her, which makes
But
it
then
even
I
more
would call her
intimidating.
bluff if she's trying to steal
Would
that
you know,
category.
like,
steal
who's
another
going to be brave
category.
enough to call her bluff on car racing?
Angie, the time
Yes,
boost
who's
is the
gonna think she's
stupidest
dumb
thing
enough
on
to do
this show.
She'd be so
The
smart.
time boost is stupid, Angie. I'm still in the category. I'm taking Tony's category. That's what I'm doing.
Okay.
Whatever it is, I want to take it. The time boost is not good enough. You take a breath. I told David this last week on the phone. You take a breath, the time boost is over.
And that is
So
fair.
I don't know. I don't know if y'all know this, or David, if you could answer this or not. I'm not sure. Can you only steal categories from like single squares, or can it be any category?
It could have been any category. It didn't have to be a single
Okay,
square.
so I would say that the
Mhm.
category steal would be more interesting when there's more whales.
When there's
Or
the
you
spots.
think who
Wait, so you can steal one category that where you own like eight different properties?
I've heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could pick the biggest. You could become the whale, but then you got a target on your back, and I don't know if she wants that.
Well, you
And
wouldn't be. Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I would say
You
this
yourself
though.
wouldn't become the whale if you weren't a whale.
I'm
right?
doing the
You
Keelan
just
thing
have
like
the whale
Tony said.
category.
I'm taking the category people are scared of, and I'm studying the crap out of it. And then,
And I'm
because if I take
bluffing.
movie
I am
musicals,
bluffing. I'm like, oh yeah, this
Yeah.
is easy. Like, oh, this so
What
this
if you
category's on
took?
the floor. I love dinosaurs. I love dinosaurs. I know everything and da. But I know that I don't know the difference between a T-Rex and a rhino. You know what I mean? It's just like I don't know anything about it. But like paleontology, that sounds so scary, and I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna
Well,
take
why-
that.
but
Wouldn't
movie
you look-
musicals does not sound scary, Tony. It doesn't.
Wouldn't
It
you look
doesn't
at the floor
because a lot
and
of people
wouldn't-
like movie musicals.
Wouldn't you find the most, like, to me, I would look at the floor and I would say, who is my biggest competition?
But it's
Who
it's
am I the
episode
most
3.
afraid of? I would give them car racing. Like last
I,
season.
yeah, I would say it's episode 3. So it's like I wouldn't be like I think if you're a whale, you're already at a disadvantage because
Right.
people are going to try to target you.
Right,
So
right,
if you're
right.
giving another whale or somebody that you're intimidated by because they've done a lot of duels, you give them an intimidated category. I mean, that's not going to do anything. They're already a target. So I would just focus on putting a hard category on me to get everybody away from me. That's what I would do. I wouldn't be
Right.
worrying about other
Right.
people.
Yeah, you got to pick one of the categories that is the most like esoteric. I agree with that.
Well, I can't wait to find out next week. That's
We're
for
gonna
sure.
find
I'm
out.
excited.
All right,
Me
so what's
too.
our
This is a good
prediction?
episode.
What's our prediction? Is she going for paleontology, which is both a corner zone and an intimidating category? Or will
No.
she do Canadian icons in the other corner? Will she do hip hop bands, which I think she could front knowing that pretty well? Or will
Hip-hop.
she do movie musicals? What do you think?
I think she's not got enough time to decide. I think that she's got to decide on the moment, and it's going to be what is most comfortable, right, Tony and
Well,
David?
no,
What do you
I
think?
don't think so because end of the episode,
Yeah, they're taking a
and I
break.
think she
But-
has until wait, that was. Did y'all do
Yeah.
2
It
episodes?
depends on. So we did 2 episodes on the first day. So
This is
Yeah.
the top of the
she's
next
on
day.
day
so they're-
2.
It was the top of that
and
day,
it's-
so she has
they're
all
probably
of
filming more episodes. Yeah.
She has lunch, probably.
she has all of lunch
to
to think
it.
about what she
She
wants
has
to do, where she wants.
lunch.
That's enough time.
Okay, that's a game
enough time
changer.
to think of something strategically.
I'm just looking
Okay.
at biology. Hold
Mm-hmm.
on. I know we're on time. We're out of time here, but I got to find out how close is biology to where she is. And actually,
Biology was right
I'm
next
just
to me.
amazed that she has a map. I'm amazed at that.
Really? Are you shocked?
I'm
I
shocked.
don't know. We're gonna find out, but I think it's an awesome new mechanic. I'm excited. I wish it had been there for our season.
Me
I think
too.
it's neat. I think it would change a lot, and I guess we're gonna find out what she does next week. And everybody, come back and join us. See if you predicted correctly where Ashley's gonna go, who she's gonna swap with, and how that person's gonna feel about inheriting car racing through no fault of their own. I think we're gonna see some drama erupt.
Can I just say, I want to throw this out there. David, I love you on the show. You're great. And I love having
Thank you,
Tony a
Brad.
part of our show full time now. Tony's great. She's not only a floor contestant, but she's a fan of what we do here at the Hopecast Network. So I am so honored to be able to be on a show with you, Tony. I appreciate it.
Well, I'm very excited as a fan to be on a show that I'm a fan of. That's
She's not
Yeah.
just a spokesperson.
two
She's also
out of
a
2.
client.
I was already a fan of the floor,
It's like,
so
2 out of 2. I like that. I like that.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining us again. We'll see you next week, and light it up. And everybody have a great week.
Let's do it.
I'm gonna stop here.